Good morning, everyone. Happy Wealthy Monday and the start of a brand new week. We're talking about love today because it's Love Week. We're going to take a totally different spin on it. I've got the goddesses with me today, so I'm really excited about that. As you're coming in, can you just give some love to each other? You know, how we do in our family. And also because we are a family filled with love, make sure that you are loving on each other. Mia, I came in here with a different name this morning. Good thing I know the brand. Good morning, Mia. As you're coming in, just, love on each other. This is going to be a conversation versus me telling you things this morning. Let's see, remove. All right, there we go. It's really about looking at love through these different lenses, which I'm going to be having the goddesses share with you. That's right. Give each other some love as you're all coming in. Give each other some love. So I became obsessed with self-love. Wow, maybe 5, 6 years ago, I was going through one of my little situationships, and I remember observing this woman on Facebook, and she was just oozing this certainty and confidence. And when she would post about, her life, it was very unapologetic. And, she was, what also intrigued me was she was not buying into the body types that we are stressed about. She was a big woman and proud and like loving herself through it. I remember the thing that took me over the edge was like, she was like, yes, I'm dating. And no, I don't want a salad for dinner. Like it's steak and a big meal or nothing else. And I was just so in awe of that kind of just who you are comfortably in your body. I remember just reaching out to her and be like, can you teach me how to be like this, And it became a journey for me because what I realize is when I look at the women that I admire who are succeeding with feminine energy, they have massive self-love going on. So this week, we've got Valentine's Day coming up and it's all about loving on everybody else, right? And waiting to receive love from somebody else. Can't tell you how many Valentine's Day I've gone through totally depressed because there is nobody to love me. And getting to that place where it's like, wait a second, I am the love I've been waiting for. I am it. And so I want to have a conversation this morning about self-love. And I want to look at it from all of these different angles. Self-love when you're married, self-love when you're single, self-love when you're as a parent, self-love as a business owner, self-love with your money, self-love at work, self-love when you are your worst self-loving self, right? All the different angles. And I've invited the goddesses on to just come share from all of these different perspectives. Goddess Diana could not be here. It's like the morning time for her and her kids. So she sent in her share for you all, which I'll be reading. But I recently shared with the goddesses this quote from my mentor. And he said, abundance, true abundance is intimacy with self. Can you all go and type that? True abundance is intimacy with self. True abundance is intimacy with self. And then also, abundance comes from abundance. Abundance is not sourced in lack. So if you want more of anything that you desire, right? More love, more wealth, more health, it's not going to come from your awareness of a lack of those things. So true abundance comes from abundance. Therefore, if true abundance is self-love, then in order to have more abundance, you must learn how to become more self-loving. I see one of our goddesses here, Gia, who her greatest thing has been, she has just become her own best friend, which is such a beautiful way of saying, yeah, I'm just going to love and honor me the way I love and honor everybody else, turning inward and being self-loving. I also want to point out that we are all here because a majority of us are business owners, and business success is built on relationships. We know the quote, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Right? And so what causes somebody to know, like, and trust me? Well, if business is built on relationships and people's relationship with us, then the place to start in getting people to know, like, and trust you is you know, liking, and trusting you. So the greatest relationship to harness and heal and work on in your business is the relationship with you. Start falling radically in love with you. Can you all go ahead and type that? Radical self-love. Radical self-love equals success. Truly. Radical success, radical self-love equals success. I see Goddess Diana is here now. All right, so I'm going to start with, if you are single, Tasha, how can I practice self-love right now when all I'm thinking about is I want a partner, I want to feel love, I want love from somebody else? Like, I remember those days, it was desperate times, right? So Goddess Diana, who's a relationship coach, has shared some tips that I'm going to read with you because she's taking care of the kids this morning. So she says, be your own best investment. Prioritize your feminine well-being. Being well-rested, nourished, and cared for isn't a luxury. It's a bare minimum for a wealthy woman, I love this part, of your caliber. Being well-rested, cared for is not a luxury. It's the bare minimum for a wealthy woman of your caliber. Then she says, if you're dating, how do you practice self-love? Is date with discernment, not desperation. When you are dating with desperation, you honestly have put yourself in such a low self-loving place. You've literally devalued yourself to value somebody else, just to be in a relationship. And I'll leave that to Diana, who's a relationship coach, not my zone of genius, just my own observation of what I did that did not work. Okay. Self-love looks like knowing you are, self-love when you're single looks like knowing you are the table and refusing to seat a man who's bringing appetizers instead of assets. You can count on Diana for we are not accepting a man who's coming to my table with appetizers. We want assets. That's self-love. Okay. I love that. Okay, if you're married, self-love is how you stay happily married. Keep pouring into you. A woman who glows in her own care is magnetic. Prioritize spa days, alone time, and whatever else makes you feel like the woman your husband can't wait to get home to. Oh my God, I love that. Whatever makes you feel like the woman your husband can't wait to get home to. Receive like it's your birthright. Self-love is allowing yourself to be fully loved, cherished, and taken care of without guilt, resistance, or the need to prove your worth. Whether you're single or married, be the most adored woman in your life first. Everything else follows. Goddess Diana. So Diana Washington here in the chat. Please go follow her. She is a relationship coach. She talks about being a kept woman. And as you can tell from her message for all of you, whether you're single or you're married, it really is about, no matter your relationship status, falling in love with yourself. One of the things that I love about my mentor, when he talks about his relationship, he says, the number one thing I tell my partner is be the best you. That is all I ask of you. Be the best you. Be so in love with you. That's all I ask. He's like, that's all I ask for our relationship, because he knows, like Diana says, that's the woman he wants to come home to. Right? So that was beautiful. Thank you, Goddess Diana. Now I want to ask Goddess Chella, how can we practice self-love when we are at work? So I'm going to bring Goddess Chella. Good morning, Goddess Chella. So
Good morning.
look at these beautiful goddesses with me today. And please make sure you go follow them to learn more about what they do. But Goddess Chella, just really quickly, can you share a little bit about the work that you do?
Yes. So I am an educational trainer and consultant. So I work with school districts all across the United States, and it's all about relationship building, connections, creating community together.
All right. So when we're at work, how can we practice self-love?
Yeah. And I know you said at work, but this honestly applies to all areas of life. So this is what when I think about like truly showing up, being self-love, there are three components that come forward. Self-awareness. Okay. You
Mm.
want to be aware of your emotions, check in with yourself about how and what you're feeling, and give yourself permission to feel all of your feelings, because life is going to come. It's going to bring things. So don't judge yourself about what you should or shouldn't be feeling and how long you should or should be feeling. Like, allow yourself to feel it. And then really want to allow yourself to connect with your heart space. And for me, the easiest way for me to do that is to ask myself, what brings me joy and what am I grateful for? No
Mm.
matter what I'm going through, if I can tap into joy, if I can tap into gratitude, I go right into my heart space and it will center and ground me to deal with anything that has been brought forward for me. The second part would
Mm.
be self acknowledgement. You want to acknowledge your strengths, your gifts, your value that you bring to this world. Now, if this is challenging for you, which it is for some of us, ask someone who loves you, your partner, a trusted friend, a colleague. Ask them to identify those strengths and gifts and let that be your reminder until you can offer that to yourself. The third
Ooh.
component would be self compassion. Be patient, kind, and gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Be willing to forgive yourself. Remind yourself that you are doing your very best. I want you to talk to yourself like you would talk to someone that you love and adore. Think about how you would talk to your children if you're a mother. Think about how you would talk to your best friend, right? I know that I can be hardest on myself. And some of the
Mhm.
things I say to myself, I would never say to my child or to my best friend, right? So I want you to love and encourage and hold space for yourself the way you do for those that you love. Give yourself that same love, understanding, and compassion. So to me, these three things are the embodiment of self-love, right? Allow
Mm.
yourself to feel and embrace all of your feelings. Acknowledge yourself for the amazing human being that you are, and give yourself that love and compassion that you truly deserve. Because when people see you truly being self-love, it gives them permission to do the same. And then
Mm.
together, you're going to create the most beautiful experiences. Just sit back and let it happen. Thank you so
I
much for letting me share, Tasha.
Oh, I love that. And what I love is just as I'm listening to you, I'm like, oh my gosh, how magnetic will you be? Like you said, this is just a truth across the board. But especially, I remember when I worked a job, and it was there's always this person that everybody flocks to or trusts in, or, they get the promotions, whatever it is, you could just tell like there's something going on. And I know for most of us, especially when you're in an environment where other people are dictating your value, so to speak, how much you should get paid, how much you should work, how well you did or didn't do. I see my daughter going through this, and this is just these three things are just such a great way to anchor back into, regardless of what you all have to say, right? This is who I am. And I really love the idea of asking a friend to just affirm you. Like, remind me again. That's what my daughter does, kind of. She calls me. My husband says I'm a gas station. She calls me to just like pump some fuel back in because work and all of the work situations has just emptied her, right? So yeah, remember to feel all of your feelings, acknowledge yourself, and just be loving and kind to you. Thank you, Chella. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Tasha.
And all of your goddess sisters are in here loving on you. All
Oh,
right. So I am going to ask Goddess Evelyn to join me because this one for me, I remember when my kids were young, I put myself last. It was children, husband, house, work, yard, like laundry, shopping, everything else. And then you got to the very end and there was just actually nada left for Tasha. So how can you be self-loving when you are a parent? So good morning, Goddess Evelyn.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here today.
You're welcome. Tell the beautiful people a little bit about the work that you do and why you're so passionate about supporting parents, especially parents who are, in the workplace and have kids at home. They're navigating it all. How do you support them?
I am a growth strategist and life coach who supports parents who are in a state of feeling overwhelmed and burdened by balancing work and home life, just so that they can be able to get into a place of empowerment and balance and not in an overwhelming or exhausted state. And this is why I'm passionate about it, because home is where you refresh yourself. At the same time, it's also where your family is, and you also get to be a leader in the home. So, leadership in the home starts from leadership within. And this is why I'm passionate about self love as it pertains to you as a parent. You get a chance to love on yourself more than just resting and all the things that we have learned today. We get a chance to also love our emotions. Being with our emotions, just like Charla explained, is so important and powerful in a way that not just letting them pass or hoping that only the good ones come about. If it is unconditional love, it's love even in the anger, even in the pain. And during such moments, asking the question, why am I feeling this way? What is this telling me? If you would think of your emotions as little communication messengers, and they're there to tell us something deeper, so you can find out what are your met needs and what are your unmet needs. And for the met needs, that's something you want to do again or you want done to you again. And for the unmet needs, there might also be some underlying belief systems that you can uncover and say, okay, this is what I stand for. Therefore, maybe perhaps another level you can go on is to set a boundary around that, so that it's not all about everyone else in the home and not you, but it's making sure you're catered for so that you can cater for others. So your emotions are all important, just as everyone else's. But once you understand and you love yourself unconditionally for yours, you can be there for others. Another piece is to communicate your needs to your family, to your loved ones, after you understand what those needs are, just like Charles said, because then you can be loved in the way that is most supporting to you. And without boundaries, without your non-negotiables, you will most likely be in an overwhelmed and tired and everything state. Boundaries for you is important. And the last piece that I can share is understanding your window of tolerance. Once you know what you can handle, just work within that energy flow that is most rewarding to you, that is the best and your greatest, and work through creating that space and time to hold your emotions so that you can be able to have enough bandwidth to hold the emotions of your family, your children. And when they see what you're doing, they are actually learning from you. And that's how you get to, as a leader in your home, embody what setting boundaries, what loving yourself and being comfortable with all emotions looks like, so that your children can do the same and your loved ones will do the same. You, like Tasha said, you will attract exactly that which you embody. Thank you.
That's so powerful. There's so much there. I'm like, where were you when I had these kids at home? Oh my gosh. Right? The window of tolerance, right, Chala? Shanice, the thing that I got were the boundaries and communicating your needs to your family. If I look at both my kids, Natasha and versus Sebastian, Natasha is pre-boundaries, like really pouring into Tasha and not putting them first and everything else first. And Sebastian has incredible boundaries. Natasha, very working through people pleasing, right? So same children, same household, different mother, different stages of my parenting. And yeah, everyone's like, can I get these tips? They're so excellent. Watch the replay. But what you just said about boundaries, and truly, I can't communicate my needs to my husband, to my children. Like the idea of even communicating your needs as a mother is so foreign. Not Chella, Evelyn, I mean, I can just imagine if I would have heard this when, my kids were younger in their teens, I would be like, what a concept. First of all, I have needs, me as a mom, right? And then being able to really understand my own needs is the next step. And then be able to share with them. I see so much wealth in how children would understand, first of all, model that behavior, get to understand their own needs, be able to communicate it, set boundaries, work within their window of tolerance. Oh my gosh, so much. All of the moms on here today should be taking like notes to the nth degree, because that was so great. So thank you so much, Evelyn, for sharing that with us. And I'm certainly hoping that the parents will take this week and do some little self-love activities for yourselves. Thanks, Evelyn.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to go to Goddess Mary because I want to talk about how you can be self-loving while running your business, and actually what are the benefits that you're going to get if you practice more self-love in terms of becoming successful in business. So good morning, Goddess Mary.
Good morning, Tasha. Thank you. And good morning, Money Family.
All right. So Mary, can you share a little bit about the work that you do?
Absolutely. I work with stressed out women leaders. That's when chaos arrives. I give them in the moment business strategies, next steps, and decision making ideas that they can use with grace and our favorite thing, ease.
Ooh, we love ease.
So we get to choose, as you say, we get to choose whether we make decisions from a place of love or a place of fear. Well, what do we choose? I choose love.
Yeah.
I choose self-love. Love and self-love are the gateway. They're the portal to serving, to living a happier life.
Yeah.
And I choose self-love by feeling into the essence, just breathing it in just for a moment and sitting with it, just sitting with it. And I open my heart for love, not just for myself, but for who I have come to be. All those things that have happened to us, that have happened for us, are the difference. So I would recommend using self-love as the gateway to align with other entrepreneurs, those of you that are business owners, business leaders, align with other womenpreneurs that have similar visions and intentions, and get on that road to creativity. Because working through creativity, through collaboration, through co-opetition being where you align with someone else to serve each other's clients, to serve for the greater good, and yes, to make a little bit of money or even a whole bunch. There's no limits. I do this through collaboration and co-opetition and serve with them so we can both, or all of us, more than two is possible, so we can shine our lights and be the best solution and the best champion, not just for our clients, but for ourselves. When we unite our love with others and collaborate in service to our clients, we have the ability, the capability to create unique possibilities, new products. And when we're creating, we're not in that dog eat dog, bloody red world of competition. Instead, we're in the dimension of love and oneness. And oneness is really where we want to be. So that self-love can be that powerful ingredient in the formula for both personal and business success. And you can't buy that on the internet.
Amen. Oh my
Right.
gosh, that was so good. There's so much there. I am sitting here just thinking about, as a woman running a business, to be able to start my business activities from the place of love. Like you said, truly just to sit and feel. Love is like one of the top three highest vibrations. So when you talk about being magnetic and attractive and, like having things being pulled towards you for the success of your business. When you are in the energy of love, that's how that happens. So I love that. I'm like sitting here going, okay, I'm going to start over the day. I'm going to sit here and just be in love. But also this idea of, as women, there can be, maybe not in our community, but there can be this idea of fear and a little bit of competition, which is not sourced in love. And I love, Mary, that the way that you support women is to say, hey, how about if we come from love, we're able to see so many opportunities to collaborate, right? And Mary calls it co-opetition instead of competition. Instead of competing with each other, when you can come from love in your business, you actually begin to see more ways that you can collaborate. And when you collaborate, things happen faster, you use less resources, you get creative, you have fun, you are like just in this big love bubble. It's the way I feel with my goddesses. We truly are just this big, huge bubble of loving on each other. And that energy in business is, there are no limits to you. But once you start to, shrink into, like Mary said, it's dog eat dog, which was just, I was like, right? That's not how we roll. But to be able to come from, no, self-love is I'm going to tap into the energy of love that is within me. And I'm going to bring that out into all of the things that I do in business. All of the goddesses I really love the title co-opetition. So thank you, Goddess Mary, for sharing. And please, Mary Palmer, so please go follow her on social media. Those of you, like Mary said, you're feeling overwhelmed and you just, could really use some in the moment support to get you out of it, return to love and see your way to your next step. Mary is your girl. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Tasha.
All right. So our last guest this morning is Goddess Beth, who I invited when we were having a conversation recently, and she just floored me with what she shared. She had gone through this season where, like most of us, we have all the best laid plans. So this is going to happen. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that. And then this is my plan for success. These are all the things I'm going to do. And then things didn't work out. And I know that's when I become the least self-loving, the least. I make myself wrong. I beat myself up. I just have this mental chatter, like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you stick to it? All the things. And Goddess Beth floored me. So I'm going to ask her to come on and just share how she navigated one of those moments in her life recently.
Hi, Tasha. Hi, ladies.
Please, by the way, it's 5 a.m. for Goddess Beth. She's in California. She woke up to join us. So please give her some love. And Goddess Beth, share with the ladies what you do.
So what I realized is that there is no policy and procedures manual for this life. This is my first go round. I don't know. I didn't have a practice session here. So before I realized that, I would beat myself up. And when things didn't go right, I'd go straight into panic. And working harder, putting more effort in to see how I can make things work. But now I choose to be gentle with myself, to give myself grace, and realize that I'm my own best friend and that I should listen to my emotions, ask, like Eva said, ask what they're trying to tell me, which can be painful at times when you're really digging deep down to find out figure out what you need to do to get where you want to be. But part of that being gentle with myself involves self-care. I buy myself flowers. I take the long hot baths. I go to the spa. I take naps, which are like the best thing ever. I replace I listen to what my negative emotions are trying to tell me. I stand in the mirror and I say, I love you to me. I love you. I love you. I love you. And when I'm feeling really bad, oh, look at you. You're such a sweetie pie. I talk to myself just like I would talk to my kid or his puppy. I get very, very gentle with myself and remember that it's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's going to work out.
Oh my gosh. And that's why I had to have her share, because, I was not expecting the conversation to go there. And she was like, yeah, I've just really just been giving myself grace and saying, it's okay. Didn't work out that way. We'll figure it. Oh, it'll work out. We'll figure it out. But I'm just going to give myself grace and keep going. And whatever presents itself, I'll just be loving to myself in the moment, And I love the thing that you said, Beth, because it's true. When you ask your emotions sometimes, what do you want me to know? It can be confronting, because really your emotions, especially when you're in that phase of being, not as loving as you can be with yourself, your emotions are showing up because it's like a little child wanting your attention. And if your little baby looks up at you with their beautiful eyes and just say, Mommy, one of my most, oh my gosh, life-changing moments as a parent was when I caught my daughter eating sugar. And I said, well, I just looked at her and I said, have you been eating sugar? Because I realized the sugar was going down. And she said, yeah. I said, seriously? You've like been eating sugar? She said, yes. And I said, why are you doing that? And she looked at me, 5.5 years old, and she just said, because I'm bored, Mom. I miss you. Broke my heart. You talk about, as a parent, hearing that, right? So yeah, it can be confronting, but it's like yesterday I got a massage and there were knots, in my back. And as she got into them, I so wanted to say, stop, it hurts, right? And yes, it did, but I knew these are not going to go away if I don't go through this right now. Right. So I just loved my way through the knots being taken out of my back. It's the same thing with our emotions. Yes, it can be hard, but it's also an invitation to be even more loving as you hear from yourself, So Goddess Beth, thank you so much. And you never shared what you did. What are you up to these days? I want people to know about you.
Wait, which part?
The two things you told me latest that you're all into right now.
Oh, business-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, starting an interior design firm and a doula agency. I think it's important. When people think about doulas, they mainly think about birth doulas, but there are also doulas on the other end of the life cycle, death doulas, who help people through the journey on the way to or while they're transitioning. And so I'm very interested in that. And I am a creative. I love bringing beauty into people's lives, into my own life. I like to look around my own space and see things that and like everything that I see. I want to see beauty all around me, and I want that for other people.
Oh my gosh. So, talk about self-love, right? She's got both, like, could not be any more different things going on that she's like, I love these things, right? And it's so self-loving to honor that. So kudos to you, Beth. Thank you for coming on. Go back to bed and sharing with us this morning. All right, everybody, give Goddess Beth some love. And I'm going to wrap it up with self-love and money. Ladies, one of the things that I see us doing is we take our life force, the most precious, priceless thing that we have, our life force, our energy. we take that and we go out into the world and we trade it for money, right? Our time and our energy. We take the life that we have and we go out into the world and we trade it for money. When we receive that money, we then pay our mortgage, our car notes, our kids' school fee, take care of the parents. We do all the things. And very, very little do we ever give back to ourselves. And so I want to just share and inspire all of you. When it comes to being self-loving with your money, pay yourself first. If you have a business, pay yourself first. I literally cannot in good conscience pay my team, pay the bills of my business without paying me first. And I realize that it is an energetic message to the universe that I am valuable. This thing that I exchange, my creativity, my wisdom, my life force, my energy, my time that I poured out into the world, and the universe rewarded me financially, and then I take it and dishonor myself. No. The most self-loving thing you can do with your money is to find ways to use it to honor you. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small. But like Beth said, I buy flowers. I go to the spa, right? I use the money that I earn to do things that pour back into me. Okay? So there you go. We're last on our own list. So ladies, self-love equals paying me first. Self-love equals paying me first. That's my last thing for y'all today. Mwah. Go have a wonderful Valentine's week. Make sure you pour love on everybody out there in the world that you love, and be loving and kind after you've poured love into you. Bye, everyone. Have a great week. Happy Valentine's Day. Take care. And thank you, goddesses, for joining me this morning. Bye-bye.